As you know, we are deep in the heart of basketball season here in Alamance County, and with conference play being fully kicked off, wanted to start hopping on and bringing you guys a midweek edition of WBAG Sports Off the Bench series. After the Tuesday games take place, want to recap all the scores, break down everything that took place, and then, of course, after the Friday schedules played out, we'll have our full-blown weekly breakdown, conference standings, and all those will come out after the Friday schedule, of course. But welcome to the first midweek edition of WBAG Sports Off the Bench.
It's time to get off the bench with WBAG Sports, Alamance County's premier sports coverage since 1947.
Welcome into a Thursday edition of WBAG Sports Off the Bench series, presented to you by the fantastic people over at For All Occasions in Burlington. They've got wine, gift baskets, seasonal decorations, all the things you can need to make any occasion that much more special. And men, I'm talking to you now. You know what's coming. Valentine's Day right around the corner. Stressful shopping, stressful thinking. Let For All Occasions handle all of the legwork for you. Let them provide what you need to make that someone special in your life feel extra special this Valentine's Day. Once again, 3266 South Church Street in Burlington. Stop in. For All Occasions, let them know WBAG Sports sent you. They take good care of us, and they'll take good care of you. As I mentioned, welcome to the first midweek Thursday edition here of WBAG Sports Off the Bench series. Want to start hopping on and updating exactly what took place over the Tuesday night schedule. So we'll call this our Tuesday night recap here this week, and we'll get things started with the game that WBAG Sports was at on Thursday night as the Tuesday night, as the Southeast Alamance Stallions rolled and the ladies stayed undefeated. They swept both varsity games as they were able to knock off the visiting Western Alamance Warriors. 77-51 the final score in the boys game, 55-26 in the girls game. We'll start with the ladies game. Congratulations to Clara LaChapelle. She scored her 1,000th career point during that game. Came into Tuesday night 12 short, scored those 12 in the first half, finished the game with 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals as well. All of those stats compiled in the first half as the starters did not play in the second half of this one. Shania Paylor, Ariana Johnson both had big games in the first half that they played in as well. Paylor 7 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. Ariana Johnson managed to put in 16 points in just the first half of play, 6 rebounds, 3 steals to go along with it. And defensively is how Southeast really got their night started. Western Alamance opened the game with a 3-pointer on the first series, then did not score but 5 more points for the entirety of the first half, a 46-8 score at the half. And then that was pretty much all she wrote from there on out. The Lady Warriors of Western, they're a good basketball team, but we may very realistically be coming to the realization that Southeast is just this good. Their boys team also knocked off the Warriors. It started out a lot closer than the girls game did, but the Stallions were just too much. They were able to pull away with huge nights from James Keenan and Stu Edwards, a rare off-the-bench appearance from Stu Edwards, but he had a big night when he did get onto the floor. James Keenan led the way for the starters for Southeast. The left-hander had himself a big night. They did most of it more impressively for the Stallions without Donnie Fairley, as he sat on the bench with some discomfort. Not sure he's actually injured, but didn't look like he had an ice bag on his hand, something to keep an eye on around the county, but I'm sure he'll be fine and back to action before too long. As I mentioned, a very impressive win for the Stallions as they were able to do all of that without their main source of inside presence in Donnie Fairley. Again, their leading scorer, Stu Edwards, he played in the game, so they weren't without all of their production, but doing it without Donnie Fairley still very impressive when you get a win 77-51. The Warriors, again, they're sparked by, in the second quarter, they're sparked by a Camden Oliveira run. Got it to a single-digit lead, but the Stallions were able to fend off any more pressure and pull away there at the end. Camden Oliveira finished the game with 12 points for the Warriors. Jaden Jones right behind him with 10. Western still trying to figure their footing out, exactly who they're going to be as a team. Not a bad team, definitely going to cause some problems for some folks here in the conference as we continue to go forward, but did fall short on Tuesday night. Moving on, the Eastern Alamance Eagles stay hot as they swept the Cummings Cavaliers, 90-40 the final score in the boys game, 83-49 in the girls game. The girls moved to 9-2, 3-0 in the conference for the Lady Eagles. They stay undefeated along with Southeast Alamance in conference play, that is. Obviously, they've dropped 2 outside of the conference. Not quite as strong of a defensive night for the Lady Eagles as they're used to, giving up 49 points, averaging just 32 coming into that to Tuesday night. Most points, but they answered with their most points that they have scored on offense all year long, 83, a season high for Coach LaConda Curry's bunch. And they're playing some of their best basketball right now at exactly the right time. Have to shout out Aaliyah Trollinger as well. She also joined the 1,000-point club for the Lady Eagles. The senior down low is a leader on that team, both offensively and defensively. And so congratulations to her for making her way into the 1,000-point club as well. Now, I mentioned not a super strong defensive night from the Eagles. Cummings did score the 3rd most points against Eastern's team all year long, so that's a positive takeaway for the Lady Cavs, a team who is much improved from last year already and is only going to continue to do so as the season unfolds. The Williams Bulldogs, going to the boys game there, skipped a little bit ahead now. Cummings moving to the boys game, the Eagles were able to roll over Cummings and move themselves to 2-1 in conference play, 8-2 overall on the year. They also took some advice from the girls team. They had their second best offensive game of the year. Those 90 points trailed just a 96-point effort, which they started the season off. So good for Coach Parrish Walker to see his team back scoring the basketball well, led by an explosion from Kamal Smith. He had 31 points. Also went 7 of 7 at the free throw line, 16 points from Xavier McPherson, and 12 from Hunter Eichmann as well for the Eagles, helped them get to that 90-point and roll to an easy victory. The Cavs are still trying to figure out their offense, exactly who it's going to be on their in terms of production on that end of the floor, and they're chasing that first conference win. They'll have a chance to get that on Friday night. Now we move on, not skipping ahead. Williams, the Bulldogs split with Southern Alamance. The boys were able to get a varsity win. The girls were still unable to get their first conference win as well. The Lady Patriots, however, got theirs in that one. 67-50 was the final score in the boys game as Williams got a win. 48-34, Lady Patriots knock off the Lady Bulldogs, who are still trying to find their footing as a team. They're now 0-3 in conference play, still trying to find that first conference win. We know they're a well-coached ball club, but they're very young, and they're still trying to mature as this season goes on. A huge win, however, for the Lady Patriots on the other side. Another young team, another team trying to figure out exactly what their identity is going to be in this basketball season. Gets their first conference win, just their second win overall on the year, 2-8 now. The record for the Patriots. This was their best offensive output of the year as well. A season-high 48 points scored, led by Sarah Catherine Manis. She had 20 points and 10 rebounds, so a double-double for the senior leader of this Lady Patriot team, followed up by Evelyn Garrison, who also had double figures. She scored 10 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 steals to go along with it. This win for Southern could be a very good sign going forwards. We'll have to see to continue to see how this team progresses and continues to mature. Now on the other side, on the boys' side in varsity, the Bulldogs stayed hot with another double-digit win. I mentioned in another video earlier on the channel that they have only won one game by single digits, and they continued that trend here tonight, Tuesday night, as they were able to pull away 67-50 and get a victory. They're now 9-1 overall on the season, 3-0 in conference play, and despite a slow second quarter where they only scored 8 points, this Bulldog team was able to rally, able to bounce back from that, overcome that level of adversity, and pull away towards the end of the game there. Southern is also still trying to get their first conference win on the boys' side. Josiah Allen had 10 points. Sincere Thompson scored 10 points, but they too are really looking for that offensive identity. That's a common theme around the conference right now with some of the younger teams just trying to find an offensive identity, find a leader on that side of the ball. Southern definitely falls into that category as they'll continue to look for some offensive help as this conference schedule unfolds further along in the season. Last but not least, Graham defeated Person, just a boys game there, as you know, 71-68. They got their first conference win for the Red Devils. They're now 5-5 on the year, 1-2 overall in conference play. This is going to be another exciting team to watch develop here in this conference. Can they find some help for some of their veteran leaders, the Michael Woods, Malachi Ware? Can they find some help for those guys? If so, this team can be scary in the conference as well. Person, they dropped to 6-7 overall, 1-2 in conference play. And again, I think depth and attrition is going to play a role for the Rockets this season, as I mentioned in our preview or our coming out of the holiday break rundown. They're not the deepest team in the conference. They're lean pretty heavily on their starters, but if they can find some pieces to plug and play, this team too could potentially be dangerous in the conference. As I mentioned, that's all of the action from Tuesday night. Conference play continues on Friday this week. Some exciting matchups taking place as the Southeast Alamance Stallions travel to Burlington to play the Williams Bulldogs, a battle of the top two teams on the boys' side of the conference so far in this one. That one's going to be a very exciting matchup to watch. It's going to be a thrilling battle. Eastern Alamance travels to Western Alamance, and if, as you know, being familiar with Alamance County, that one always has a little special extra buzz to it just when you see the green and gold against the blue, the navy blue team of Western Alamance. It's going to be a fun battle. That should be exciting to watch as well. Person will travel to Burlington to play Cummings. That's going to be an exciting game there as the Cavaliers try to get their first conference win on the boys' side, and the Lady Cavaliers look to continue their winning ways after knocking off Williams, after losing to Cummings, or losing to Eastern. Cummings looks to get back to the winning ways they had over the holiday break. That's my fault there. I apologize. Last game of the week, Southern travels to Graham, again for a boys-only game. That'll be an exciting matchup. Graham coming off a win. Southern still chasing that first conference victory of the year. So those are the rundown. That's your Tuesday breakdown. That's your midweek update. As I mentioned, after the Friday games, we'll have a full-blown recap of the week, tell you exactly what took place in the conference. As always, thanks so much for watching here at WBAG Sports. I'm Vance Ballard. Make sure you leave a comment. Let us know what you think about the conference so far. Let us know what you want to see on the page. Leave a comment. Smash that subscribe button. Help us grow this channel here so we can continue to go further in depth with sports coverage around Alamance County. And once again, thanks for watching Off the Bench.